can say anything we want so high. Now, it's amazing how things start. Oh, you're staying close to me.
This is Dave Johnson's recorder.
Yeah, hey, you're privileged, aren't you?
I know.
He's a good-looking guy, too.
Did I say they were just the cutest couple ever?
Well, it's funny. There was a time in our life we weren't so cute. But, Nika has a way of helping couples actually stay together. Did you know that? I'll give you a little background. First off, how many people do not know our story? Is there anybody? Okay, all right. So I'm going to tell our story a little background. I've been in retail management for an old company for about 29 years, and Suzanne had been in nursing, and we were living life large. We both made a lot of money, and life was good. Until, how important is your health? Everything, right? It's okay to have money, but if your health, well, we were healthy and had money, and that was okay. I'm sitting at a red light, minding my own business one day, and Thanksgiving morning of 1992, driving an old pickup truck to go help some friends move. It's 7 o'clock in the morning on a beautiful day. On a 2-lane highway, there's 2 lanes and 2 lanes, so it's 4-lane highway, excuse me. And a guy hit me from behind while I'm parked at a red light doing about 40 miles an hour. I didn't deserve that. I didn't do anything wrong. I was stopped at a red light. So, my head goes over the seat cushion and goes through the glass window, and I crushed my skull on that little aluminum rail with the window slides on. And it fragmented the bones of my neck, and they sliced part of my nerve cord. Well, when I overextended like this, also said it did a little damage to L4, L5 in the back. And then when I went forward, I was holding on to the steering wheel because I wasn't paying attention, and I fractured these ribs up here. Not a good situation. So Suzanne says, take him to St. Luke's Hospital, and she called in a neurosurgeon to go in there and open up the neck and see what was going on because it wasn't doing real well. And he does his best he can do as a surgeon. And here's what he says after surgery, post-op. He says, Mr. Truax, you've had major damage to your nerve cord, and I believe you're going to be a crippled pain patient for the rest of your life. How would you like that to happen?
Pretty devastating.
Well, I kind of bought into that. I was thinking, okay, well, he was my doctor, and he's a very knowledgeable doctor. He was one of the top neurosurgeons in Houston. And I said, what am I going to do? He said, well, we're going to put you through pain management and physical therapy, and over the next year, you're going to improve to whatever you improve over the next year is where you're going to be. So for the next year, I went through a lot of different things, and I was doing a lot every day. At the end of the year, I was a crippled pain patient. And I kind of got this loss of hope, And I didn't feel like I was worthy anymore. And I wasn't providing to the family. My company had found out, of course, that I'd been damaged, and they had to replace me because I had a high-profile job. They didn't have any choice. Don't blame the company. Companies do that. And so here I am at home, not making any money, hurting all the time, not being a good parent because I couldn't really interact with the kids because I had always done the assistant coach for this or the coach for that. And I had two little boys at home. They were saying, hey, Dad, go do this with me, go with that. And I couldn't because I hurt too much. And then I got depressed. And Suzanne said, well, hey, we're going to go start looking past the medical system because she's a bright lady. And she took me on this path of alternatives. At the time, alternatives. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this where I get to talk?
Yeah, no, you get to talk.
Oh.
Anytime you want to.
Oh, okay. Here, you get to go.
Okay.
What trade shops? All right, so, yeah, about that time, I was doing a conference in Houston and ran into a physician who knew about the technologies that Deacon has and said, well, I'm not really sure what this technology will do for your husband because I know he's in home hurting. Why don't you get these shoe inserts and just see what happens? And so, lo and behold, my friend that Rhonda was talking about a minute ago, Lisa, had some of the products and she was using them for fibromyalgia and actually getting really great results with it.
Stop right there. The best kept secret. Using the products for herself, but not telling anybody.
Go ahead. She's going to hear about that. So anyway, yes. And so she very passionately said, Suzanne, I think that we should see what these products could do for Pat. So y'all have to realize too, we had already spent thousands of dollars of our own money. You know, of course, our insurance had maxed out for this injury. So we had already spent thousands of dollars on things that, 13 years ago were considered alternatives like chiropractic and
$30,000.
Yeah. You just have to.
I do.
And anyway, so when my friend showed me the Negan technology, I just looked in the catalog and said, I want everything. So if you can imagine, I just went through the whole catalog. And that was a long time ago. That was when Negan was magnets. That's what it was magnets. We had the sleep system, so, and we had the shoe inserts. We didn't have any jewelry. So I bought all kinds of things, the whole catalog.
The whole catalog. How would you like to have somebody come to your house and say, well, okay, I'm going to sign up, but just sell me one of everything?
She didn't sell it to me, I bought it.
Oh, that's right. She said, I don't want to sell it to you, so you can become a member and you can buy it at wholesale cost. And she said, well, okay, I like that idea.
Right. And so that's what I did. So a few days later, I was at work, and a UPS guy came and brought these big boxes, lots of boxes. And my husband called me at work and said, what is this at my door?
Listen, I mean, a bed, comforters, pillows, big magnets, little magnets, and shoe magnets, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what have you done now? $30,000 she's already spent on alternatives. And I'm thinking, my gosh, what in the world are you doing? I'm not going to have any 401k left. Because I had saved 29 years on a 401k, and she's spending it all. And what did you tell me?
Let me say the nice word.
Yes,
Shut up and I'll be home in a little while.
shut up and I'll be home in a little while.
As I quit screaming at me on the work.
And then she was going to take tape, surgical tape, and tape these things all over my body.
Look at the scar. I want to make sure they stay there.
Yeah, and surgical tape, my skin doesn't handle that too well. When you pull it off, it rips the skin. Oh, so I'm smart. She gets a bed, and she puts it on our bed. And I'm saying, I'm not sleeping on that bed. So I got my son's.
You thought you were going to stick to the refrigerator. We went on that one.
Listen, I thought she was out to get me because I was stuck on the refrigerator, couldn't get off, or if a car drove by, they'd suck me away. And I think it was just the way she was trying to go right at that time, right?
That's right, because you were being a what?
Okay, so I was a food ad. She's right, I was. Actually, I couldn't think of anything. How in the world could a magnet make any difference for anybody? Seriously. I mean, think about that for a minute. This is 96. This is the December of 96, and I never heard about magnet. And I'm sitting there going, well, I never heard about it. If it's so great, why didn't everybody know about it? Why aren't they advertising, right?
Why didn't the doctor tell me about it?
Yeah, why didn't the doctor tell me about it? And so she puts these magnets on me, and then I get the kids to carry a lounge chair and put it next to the bed so I can sleep in the lounge chair. Aren't they smart? Because I'm not going to sleep in that bed because, I don't know, am I stubborn? Food head, okay. So, she finally has a talk with me one day. She says, Pat, if you've given up and you're really not wanting to try anything new and innovative, maybe we're not a good match anymore. Ooh. I said, whoa, wait a minute now. And I said, okay, I'll humor her. I'll get with this program, okay? I'll tolerate this, and I'll show her these things do not work. Y'all got the message? So, 4 months into this program, I'm sitting on the side of the bed one morning, and I'm saying, there's something different here. And I'm looking at my left foot, and I can actually move my toes on the bed. I'm going, well, that's unusual after 4 years of not being able to move anything. I mean, you could hit it with a club hammer, and I wouldn't have felt it. I mean, every time I go to the neurologist, which was twice a year, he'd stick needles all up and down my leg, and I didn't feel those. And then, I sat there and I put my foot on the floor, and I pulled my foot back by hand. I had to pull it. I still hadn't had a lot of motor with it. And, it felt like sandpaper. It hurt like hell. Excuse my language. everybody got the message. The body does heal, right? And if our God could have done it, you know? I mean, the humor of God that we use a magnet, oh my gosh. Anyway, so I get a call from an ex-employee, and he says, you know, Pat, I heard you're walking and stuff, what happened? And I said, well, you know, his name is John. I don't really know. I said, my wife put some magnets on me, and you know, by the way, she didn't tell me that she was working with a doctor down in the medical center that actually had good experience with the magnets.
You wouldn't have listened anyway.
That's true. So, John said, you know, I got this little girl at home that's 4 years old that's having some challenges. Maybe you and your wife would come out, maybe you could help me. And I'm going, oh, well, John, I'm not even convinced myself, but call my wife. So John calls Suzanne, and Suzanne says, a little girl, maybe we can help her. And I'm thinking, well, they live out in Spring, Texas, and we live in Sugar Land. That's an hour and a half away. And I'm thinking, an hour and a half, you want to drive all the way out to Spring, Texas to try to help a little girl?
On a Sunday afternoon.
On a Sunday afternoon. And she says, yes, you're going. And I said, oh, okay. I guess I am. And so out we go, we put this car up, and then about 3/4 of the way to Spring, Texas, she says, oh, by the way, we're going to loan them these products. And I said, we're going to loan them products? I said, are you serious? Don't these things cost a lot of money? Remember, I hadn't had an income in 4 years. And she says, well, I don't know what it's going to do with this little girl, and we just got to go see them. We're just going to loan it to them, and they don't have a lot of money anyway. So we pull up in this neighborhood, and it's a trailer home park. And I'm going, a trailer home park, okay. And not only that, the trailer homes are not wonderfully beautiful trailer homes. They're kind of rugged, and there's a lot of stuff around. I'm sorry. I talked too long, Dave. I apologize. Anyway, so we got this trailer park, and we climb in these stairs, and of course I could just barely climb anything at the time. I mean, I came up these stairs pretty good 13 years later, but I barely climb in the stairs and stuff. But we get up in there, and we meet this couple, and they got this beautiful little girl that's 4 years old that has cerebral palsy, and she's like this, and it's severe. And you know, she was drooling out of her mouth, and she can't talk, and she didn't have any motor skills, and certainly can't crawl or anything like that. And I'm thinking, what in the world the magnet's going to do for this little girl, you know? So Suzanne, again, the loving wife she is, tells me to shut up. And so she puts a little bed on the floor where this girl sleeps, and she puts shoe inserts in her shoes, right? And, you know, she says, well, we're going to loan this to you for a little while. She didn't even say how long. I was thinking, well, maybe we should just do it for a couple of days. And she says, well, it might take more a couple of days, and it's okay. And so we leave. And we didn't call that couple back, did we?
No. Well, y'all have to remember this is when we first started in the business. We really didn't know how to run our business as a business.
We didn't have a Rick Murphy to tell us.
We didn't. Gosh, no.
We didn't know about all
No, we didn't know about all that.
You hadn't invented all this stuff yet, so
Yeah, right.
no one ever told us
This
all
was in the
about it.
dark ages of Deacon, right?
And you know, I was thinking, hey, you know, if there was something that would happen, that people would call us. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, if something happened, you would thought they would call.
So about 2 weeks go by, and I get a phone call from John. I don't know why he's calling me, because I told him to call my wife. He says, hey, Pat, you and your wife need to come out here to my house. And I'm going, yes, we'll go back and get our stuff. This is great, right? We're not going to lose it, because I figured it was lost. And so we drove.
Attitude.
I did. We drove out to Spring, Texas, and what happened?
Well, we went back out to the trailer to visit this family, and we thought that we were just going out there to get our products. But as we walked in the door, the mom and dad greeted us with a big smile. And we heard the mother call out the little girl's name. And as we stood there, this little girl came crawling down the hall, came around the corner. And as we watched her, she was able to pull herself up in a platform rocking chair and rock herself. It was amazing.
It was a
amazing.
miracle.
Yes. And you know, in my nursing career, I had seen things that were pretty miraculous. I'm not sure I'd ever seen anything even remotely close to that. But it totally changed our view of what possibilities are. And it really, really changed Pat's life.
Oh, listen, I lost it. You know, I started crying. I couldn't stop. I mean, I was just amazed, helping a little girl crawl. They couldn't crawl. I said, wow, what a jerk I've been. So they helped me like I had done something, and I was the one that was being the jerk. It changed my life instantly.
So after that day, our long ride home to Sugar Land, Pat and I gave our business to the Lord and said, who is it that doesn't deserve that kind of hope? Who is it that doesn't deserve to have that knowledge? And it really, really changed our lives.
But we have to tell you the rest of the story. How many people here have ever tried to work together as a couple? It's so simple, isn't it? I mean, I've been a manager for a long time of a large corporation and had several hundreds of employees, and Suzanne had been a manager and had several hundred employees. And now we're thinking we want to go out and make a difference for other people. But I'm thinking, hey, maybe there's a way that we could also generate some income, right? And so Suzanne went out and did a great thing. She recruited 17 nurses. She did a call to action. And they were out putting products on patients and their families and their moms and being successful. And about the third month into this, what happened?
Well, about the third month, I got a check for like $2,600.
Yeah, it was somewhere in the, I don't even remember what, 23, 2,700. We've embellished this story so many times, we don't know how much it was.
He got his attention. He got his attention.
But it was over $2,000, and it sure got my attention. I said, hey, that's a pretty good deal. Because I was thinking I was going to get my legs back and learn how to walk again, and I was going to go get my old corporate job back, and it was like, not going to happen. Applied to the company said, well, if you're walking and everything and you're healthy now, we can find you a gas station to run. And I said, well, at this point I'll take anything. So they hired me to run a gas station in October of '97. And that was the hardest job I've ever did in my life. It was one thing to manage all those, but it was another thing to actually run one. And then on top of that, they only paid me a third of what I used to make.
People come in convenience stores and they have guns. That was the part I didn't like.
Yeah, so it was an amazing transition. I was thinking, maybe we can work together. Maybe we could actually grow this into an income-generating vehicle by helping a lot of people. Is it okay to help people? Yeah. And we wanted to make a difference, but we wanted to make a difference we had big visions. We talked about it. We wanted to make a difference all over the world. We didn't have small visions. And I was thinking, if this stuff really does what it did for me and this little girl, we could make $100,000 a month. Because I'm kind of money motivated. And so Suzanne was doing this, and I said, well, I'm a sales manager. I'm going to go out and put together a sales team. And we're going to go sell magnets and all become rich.
That's really what he used to tell people.
I really used to tell people that. So after talking to about 40 people in a row, and they all kept saying no, how'd you like to talk to 40 people in a row, and they all said no? I mean, just said no. Not only no way am I going to go around selling products to my friends and family. By the way, how many people like to be sold? No? I mean, when you walk up to a used car salesman or you walk into a store and the guy greets you at the door and they start saying, what can we do to earn your business and all that stuff, what happens? You all kind of back away, right? Now, let me ask you a question. How many people like to buy based on information? Yeah, how many people want to buy products and what you do is you look around, you get on the internet nowadays and everything else, right? So I was doing it all wrong, but then I remembered, now wait a minute, you got 29 years of sales management skill and you teach people information selling, which is to share information so that somebody would want to buy, right? So we kind of changed, I kind of changed my approach, but what happened was in the process, we came together as a couple and we started working together. And let me tell you what made a huge difference for us. This class called Humans Being More. How many have been to Humans Being More? Better, how many people have not been to Humans Being More? Well, it was life-changing for me. There was another thing. My wife said, we're going to go to this class called Humans Being More.
Silver training.
And silver training. And I said, honey, I've been to those corporate things, and I don't want to go. She says, no, you're going to go with me anyway.